influential and significant topic today is about angry bosses, from a study done by Ohio researchers that said that when you deal with an angry boss or a hostile boss, it's good to retaliate and give that action back, so yell back at them. I think that depends on your level, but what the studies show is that you feel a little bit less like a victim when you return the hostility. By doing passive-aggressive things like ignoring what they said, or don't know, or you don't understand what they said to you. I don't recommend that. I think passive aggression is really a sidestepping way to get out of it. But if you feel more comfortable doing that, then studies show that it works. I recommend actually talking to your boss and telling your boss that that is not an effective way. Yelling or doing hostile behavior is not an effective way to get the result out of you. I highly recommend the assertiveness script, or learning how to just communicate with your boss. I had a situation once where I had a boss that threw a fit. He threw a total tantrum in the office. He was cussing, he was throwing things, he was kicking the file cabinet, he was doing all kinds of things. And I basically walked out. I left and I basically told them that I will be back tomorrow. I'm not coming back today. I will come back tomorrow because I do not feel comfortable in this environment. When I came back the next day, he apologized for his behavior. And I let him know at that time that that was not an effective way to operate around me. So by using your words and communicating, that is definitely a better way to get your message across. The other note that you might want to take is, I know during the State of the Union address, when President Obama made the comment that he will not be running for office again, which obviously his term is over, but he's not going to be running, the Republicans took that opportunity to give a rousing round of applause, which in my opinion was a little hostile. But our president, being the class act that he is, decided to retaliate by responding simply that he doesn't have to run again, mainly because he already won twice. So that's your influential and significant moment today. Feel free to tweet me, and I look forward to getting your questions, your comments, anything that you'd like to have me put on the air to discuss that's influential and significant. We'll be right back.
Yeah. The greater fool is actually an economic term. It's a patsy.
Thanks for that.
For the rest of us to profit, we need a greater fool. Someone who will buy long and sell short. Most people spend their lives trying not to be the greater fool. We toss him the hot potato. We die for his seat when the music stops. The greater fool is someone with the perfect blend of self-delusion and ego to think that he can succeed where others have failed. This whole country was made by greater fools.
Are you willing to be the greater fool? Like the clip said, that's what this country was built on. That's how we made America what it is today. I mean, that is really the definition of an entrepreneur. To imagine that a financial term that's a lot of people consider to be a negative thing, when you really get down and think about it, it's actually a very positive thing, because to be a greater fool, you can imagine a world different than a world that exists today. You can imagine taking something and it being of service to other people, of growing for other people, of helping them and yourself get to another place, a better place, the greater fool. Today, I challenge you to be the greater fool. I started on this journey many years ago, and it's taken a lot of turns. And for those people who may have followed me along through the years, you know that my journey started with conversations with myself. That's how Leslie Pogue LLC came to be. It started off as conversations with myself, and really, if I think back to the journey that I have taken, it's really a story about, and every time I named my business a different thing, it was really where I was in my journey, because the beginning was conversations with myself, and I was having a whole lot of conversations with myself. really digging in deep, doing the groundwork that I talk a lot about, because again, I walk my talk. I did a lot of internal searching and a lot of internal questioning and finding out who I was and who I am, who I want to be, and where I wanted to be. I did the hard work. I asked the hard questions of my family, of my friends. I sought answers to things I didn't understand. I sought help in areas I wasn't strong in. And throughout all of that journey, I always had a bigger plan, a bigger picture of what my life should be. So some could argue that I've always been, probably since the time I was little, the greater fool, because I've always dreamed of the bigger, better. My initial journey started off with me wanting to be the next Whitney Houston and Debbie Allen, and as we can see, I'm not there yet, but I always dreamed bigger. And no matter what came my way, I never stopped dreaming that dream. I read an article about a woman once, years ago, that dreamed of being on Broadway. And after she hit a certain age, she figured that it was a little bit too late to fulfill that dream. But she realized that she could still act on stage, which was really her dream. Her dream was really to act on stage. And what she did was she started doing it in her neighborhood area. She started with her neighborhood theater. She auditioned. I forget the role she played. I believe it was a starring role, but she auditioned to play a role in the play. She got it. She was playing in the play. The play went onto a bigger stage and a bigger stage. And one day she did find herself actually in a play on Broadway. I love that story because it really shows that you never know where your journey is going to take you once you start down that path. But you have to start. One of my favorite quotes is, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." That really sums up. Just go grab the pen. Buy the whatever it is. Get started. Be the bigger fool. What I hope to pass on in this message is to get you thinking. Thinking about what change you want to be, really. What legacy do you want to leave? And I want you to think past your home, past the stereotypical American dream stuff. The home, the family, the stuff of life. I want you to think about you as an individual, because that's really what our human condition is all about. It's us as people, as individuals, and what we contribute to the whole picture, to our family, to our community, to those around us that we come in contact with. Be the greater fool and pass on what you've learned. Find out more, learn more, and make a difference in a way that even you didn't expect. I've shared the story a lot, really, of how the start of this journey was for me, in that I did a radio show on Voice America. And one day I got an email from a woman that was in an abusive marriage, and she emailed me to tell me that she came across my show, and my show had stopped running at that point. But she came across my show in the reruns, and whatever it was I said in my messaging, it gave her the courage, the strength to leave a bad situation. She was a greater fool in that moment, in that she saw another life for herself. You never know whose life you're going to touch when you imagine things to be different. And yes, they could be profitable. I mean, let's look at the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Morgans, JP Morgans of the world. They were definitely greater fools. And they imagined so much that our world is most definitely changed by what they did, what they created, their partnerships, their collaborations, all of their inventions and insight, and just knowing what direction this world was going to go into and the needs of the growth that was going to happen with the product that they already possessed. You already possess a product. It could be anything. For me, it's voice, it's thought, it's ideas. It could be an actual tangible thing. Don't stop dreaming about getting that out there. Move forward and let the world know that you're here. Help the world in a way that improves it. Allow people to move forward with something that you contributed, because that's why we're here, to help move things along. We'll be right back.
28 Days to Happy is a daily guide to walk you through acknowledging and accepting the truth about what's really going on in your world, to forgive yourself and others for the wrongs you feel have been done to you, and ultimately to identify and celebrate the happiness that is always there no matter what comes your way. The positive side of the bad stuff is a handy companion when you need a pick-me-up. It's a collection of blogs that speak primarily to personal soft skills that we all manage every day, from joy to grief, from who cares to self-care. It will give you a guide to make sense of the things in your life and find your positive side of the bad stuff. Both books are available now at Amazon.com and my website at www.softskillsdirect.com.
So as we wrap up today, I want you to be the greater fool and have the ego big enough to imagine a world different than how you found it. Go out there and make a difference. Go out there and have the courage to see a better place, to see a better world, and have a hand in making that change. Because as I've said before and will continue to say, you always have the power. You already possess everything you need to do whatever it is you want to do. So by being the greater fool, when you hear that term, or if someone says you've lost your mind, or that's foolish, or what are you thinking, that'll never work, listen to that inner voice and hear this message of saying, yes, but that's me being the greater fool. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's all in how you look at it. So until next time, please check me out, subscribe to my channel, and Facebook me and tweet me, and always reach out to me. I look forward to hearing your comments and your questions. Any future ideas, I'd love to have them on the show. If you have an idea and if you're enterprising and doing some stuff, I'd love to talk to you. So maybe we can bring you on the show. Until next time, I look forward to being with you, and thank you so much for joining me each week here at the Positive Side of the Bad Stuff. I'm Leslie Pogue, your host. Until next time, go, be, do.